Hello and welcome to part 3 of our May estate sale finds. Um, this is picking up where we left off in part 2 with another Jan and Dean and Dead Man's Curve. Now in the last episode we had Sidewalk Surfing. They weren't close together in the stack like they probably should have been, but Dead Man's Curve was a song that I actually mentioned when showing you that last one. And the B-side here is The New Girl in School. And I was talking about on that last one how usually they number the A side, and they had the number 5 on Sidewalk Surfing. This is clearly the B side here. They got number 6 on The New Girl in School. Definitely isn't a song that I'm as familiar with as Dead Man's Curve. So little puzzling there, but. And then next up, this one we looked at in the last episode, Eeny Meeny with the Showstoppers, and it is the Eeny Meeny Miny Mo song, kind of like a Motown version of it. But the B-side I was really curious about because it had a blank label, but it clearly had some tracks. Well, usually when they're blank, they're just blank. But this is blank. I just put it on and played it in between filming episodes here, and there is no data. No sound whatsoever coming from any of that. So why they put the effort into cutting all that silence doesn't really make sense. It should have been just a flat blank side. But I did put it on, and that's what we had. Nothing. Surprising. So next up, we've got Lloyd Price here with Where Were You on Our Wedding Day? And there again, that's just a funny title. Sounds like something that could fall into the novelty records category. So I was interested enough to pick it up. And the B side of this one is It Really Love? Well, I'd say if she didn't show up for your wedding, it wasn't. But that's kind of a cool ABC Paramount 2 logo there that I'm not familiar with. So that was another reason to add this one to the collection, just to get that logo, that label. And next up, we've got Guy Mitchell, Knee Deep in the Blues. And that kind of makes me think of the old game Doom. You know, the very first episode of Doom was Knee Deep in the Dead. And I know they got that from Aliens, where he says, "We are knee deep," you know. And I just watched Aliens again for the first time in probably 10 or 12 years the other day, and it held up pretty well. But getting back to the point here, Knee Deep in the Blues, it just kind of rung a bell with me, and it's something I wanted to grab. So B-side being Take Me Back, baby. So don't know either one of those songs, but Knee Deep in the Blues definitely sounded like something I wanted to hear. And we are kind of going with the idea that a lot of these are novelty records, or at least I bought them with those hopes, because here we've got Fantasy, a band called Fantasy, doing Stoned Cowboy. So that was something that for 50 cents I wanted to hear. I wanted to take it home and throw it on and see what it was. So we got a Stoned Cowboy with a B-side of a song called Understand. I've never even heard the band Fantasy. I had never heard the song Stoned Cowboy or Understand. So that was definitely something that I just rolled the dice on. Kind of like this one here, The Larks doing The Jerk. Well, to me, The Jerk is Steve Martin. It always will be. You know, that was his first feature starring role in a film. And it's a great movie. I love The Jerk. But I don't think it has anything to do with this, or this has anything to do with that. Let's put it that way. Money Hollywood Records, or Money Records Hollywood. Kind of looks cheap, doesn't it? It looks kind of yeah. But it's marked as an A side, and this is marked as a double A side. So there again, I'm not sure what side they're promoting here, but Forget Me being a song on this side, that doesn't sound as interesting. And if it had just been this, I probably would have walked on by. But The Jerk, I wanted to hear that and see what that was all about. So not sure which is the A, or the double A is the A, but The Jerk is what I bought it for. Next up, we got another one that just put a little smile on your face. Johnny Oliver doing Mailman, Where's My Check? Yeah, Publishers Clearinghouse was supposed to give me a really big check, and I'm looking for it. Haven't found it yet. So, interesting. Liberty, and this is called an audition record. Now, I don't think I've ever seen that on one before, so I think that's kind of cool. Don't know if it really means something or not. The B-side, though, of this is You've Got to Reap What You Sow. So, I don't know either one of those songs, but Mailman, Where Is My Check? Was definitely something that I thought might be comical. So I grabbed it. Sticking with the comical titles, here we've got Robert Mitchum. Now, we do know who Robert Mitchum was. He's an actor, and I wasn't really familiar with him doing any songs or vocal work. But Little Old Wine Drinker Me. And I would bet money that's got a country and western theme to it. I don't know. I'd have to put it on. But being Robert Mitchum and going back a few years and Little Old Wine Drinker Me, that just sounds country to me. But who knows? I'd have to put it on to find out. And the B side of this is Walker's Woods. So, just Robert Mitchum just doesn't really seem to me to be the kind of actor that would have a great singing voice. So, there again, curiosity piece that I definitely thought was worth the money. So, here's another Ray Stevens one. We just had one earlier. And this is Ahab the Arab. We had Guitarzan, I think, in the first episode of this series. So now we've got Ahab the Arab, and I do know that I have got that on a 45, but this definitely is a different label. Might be an earlier issue of it. It'd be wonderful if it was the first issue, but I don't know. But the B-side is definitely something different. It's Been So Long. That's not a Ray Stevens song I'm familiar with. So I picked it up, this one, more for the B-side than anything. But then again, look at how clean that vinyl is. It's a beautiful looking piece of vinyl, even though it wasn't in a sleeve. Didn't come in a sleeve. It was still a nice, good, clean looking copy. And being a Ray Stevens fan, yeah, I was definitely not going to leave that one behind. So now here's another one. I do recognize the title, Kooky Kooky, Lend Me Your Comb. And this one's done by Connie Stevens. I thought that was interesting. I know who Connie Stevens is. Just watched her film Scorchy for the first time recently. That was kind of interesting. She did a good job of driving all kinds of different vehicles, and there's some great race scenes in there, chase scenes in there. But it's a bit of an odd movie. But if you like Connie Stevens or you're a fan of Connie Stevens, you're probably already aware of that film. And if you're not, it probably is something you'd want to give a little of your time to, just because of her. But this is supposedly Edward Barnes as Kooky on 77 Sunset Strip for the ABC TV network. And Connie Stevens with the big sound of Don Rocky. So there's a lot of credits there on that Kooky Kooky, Lend Me Your Comb. It is on Warner Brothers Vitaphonic, High Fidelity. Okay. Like I said, the title rang a bell, and I definitely know Connie Stevens is, so I thought it was worth picking up. Now, the B-side of this, You're the Top, written by Cole Porter, who that's definitely country and western, from my understanding. But again, it's somehow associated with that 77 Sunset Strip TV show, and Connie is not credited on this side, so I'm guessing she only makes an appearance on this side. So, next up, we've got Steve Schultz, maybe. And I've got the Texas Blues. Now here again, we got a promo copy. And they send that ABC Paramount logo there that I thought was kind of cool. But we got a not-for-sale promo copy here. So even though I'm not familiar with Steve Schultz, I do like the blues, and I've got the Texas Blues. It sounds like a pretty cool title. And a B-side here of Such a Fool. So it might just be more country than blues. Don't know. Have to give it a spin. But it definitely got my interest enough to make me want to go ahead and pick it up. So, next up, we've got Jimmy Glimmer and the Fireballs doing Sugar Shack. Now, I don't believe that he originally did Sugar Shack. I'd have to look it up, refresh my memory of just who did Sugar Shack originally. But I don't think it was Jimmy Glimmer and the Fireballs, because I've never heard of Jimmy Glimmer or the Fireballs. So, B-side of this is Daisy Pedal Pickin'. And that's kind of interesting. That kind of something that I would want to definitely give a little bit of a listen to. But Daisy Pedal Pickin', there again, it's quite possibly country. Wouldn't surprise me. But I wanted to give it a shot anyways, just for the heck of it. And then just about every old stack of 45s, especially if they were into pop in the 70s, you're going to come across some Carpenters. And they long to be close to you. Why do birds suddenly appear? I loved Karen Carpenter, just loved her voice. This is a beautiful song. It's a real good looking copy. And the B-side is I Kept on Loving You, which is actually why, excuse me there. That's actually why I picked this one up. I do feel pretty confident that I already had a copy of Close to You, but I don't think it had I Kept on Loving You on the B-side, which again was written by Paul Williams, who also wrote their first big hit, We've Only Just Begun, although he wrote it as a TV commercial for a bank. Richard Carpenter adapted it into a Dice Top 40 hit song. So, I picked this one up, like I said, just on the off chance that I did not have that B-side. So, that wraps up that episode. Come on back, we'll have at least one, maybe two more.